The follow-up is simple. Ask a question, listen to the answer, then follow up. I'm your host, Noah Kozlov. Enjoy. Welcome back to the Follow-Up Podcast, all part of the Dad and Daughter series. I'm Noah. This is my soon-to-be 6-year-old daughter and soon-to-be first-grade daughter, Eden, and we're in her bedroom here in New York City.
Yeah.
And every Monday is a new episode. You can listen to all of them, subscribe on Apple Podcasts. You can also listen on VocalNow.com, but we think it's best to watch, and you can do that also on VocalNow.com. VOKAL now.com. Every Monday is a new topic of conversation, a little insight into what we might be talking about here in the apartment, and it is always Eden's choice of whatever she wants to talk about. So today?
What I like to watch on the news.
So every morning before breakfast, and you've been doing this for a long time, you just sit on the couch and put on the TV and put on the news. And you've been doing this even before you knew how to use the remote control. You would say, can you just put on the news? And you just sit there and watch the news. What do you like to watch on the news?
Stories about news from around the world. Politics, like the election, coronavirus, the protests, and the weather.
And there's so much every single day. So it's usually the Today Show. So you'll watch a little bit before the end of the local news, probably around like 10 to 7, and then 7 o'clock is the Today Show.
Yeah, and there's a lot of protests that I hear about. And I hear the weather that I like. Because the weather is a really important part of the news because you need to know what temperature it is. Sometimes you can see with the clock it says the time and then it says what the temperature is outside. But you need to know what is it going to be in the afternoon at 4 o'clock.
Right, and you get that in the local news, and then you get the national news, so you see what's happening with the weather all over the world and how it's impacting people. Like we just watched all those stories about Hurricane Laura.
Yes.
Coming off the Gulf of Mexico and the devastation. So sometimes it's a bright sunny day, other times it's
a dark
disastrous day. Do you ever get scared or worried about things you see on the news?
No.
Why?
Because
what do you think?
Because you're not near them. Like they already happened, and they usually happen when we're asleep sometimes.
Oh, so you're saying the things that happen that you see in the morning are oftentimes things that have happened at night while we're asleep.
Yeah, because it's always usually on the stories. It's dark.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't really think about how that might not impact you.
There's videos, so and it's usually it's dark, so I know it's like that.
And how about just? Well, I mean, I wouldn't say that those don't impact you, but they do in a different way. That you're not there at, whether it's a protest or whether it's a shooting or a crime or something like that. But do you ever have questions to ask?
No, because for an example, a book. For an example, a Cam Jansen book. Cam Jansen books, they say what their plan is, and then they describe all their details of what they're doing right now, what they're going to do, and who, what, where, when, why, who. I already said who. How.
Same letters, just mix them around.
Yeah.
And they do that on the news.
Yeah, and they do that on the news. And another thing is, like I said, they do videos. They show videos to give even more description.
So then, after you watch one of those stories, you might not know who all these people are or what it's ultimately going to lead to, one of these stories, but you feel like you know what exactly has happened and why it happened.
Yes.
And it doesn't... Do you ever get the sense that you're seeing similar stories day after day and wonder, why are they still talking about this?
No. Because I know because I know they're important stories, so they're going to be talking about these for a while.
There is a question amongst parents. So parents talk to each other a lot about parenting. That's what friendships kind of evolve. My best friends I've had since I was in pre-K and kindergarten, and now we kind
first grade.
Right, and now we talk about different things, and we do talk about do you let your kids watch the news? So there are certain times when I say, hey, let's turn it off. And it's kind of no questions asked. Like, it's not a why. It's not why I wanted to see it. It just, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think you understand that when I say, or Mom says, hey, let's turn it off,
Yeah.
it's not something you should be watching, or you're not ready for that type of conversation yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, because some of the news is sad and it's depressing. It can be pretty scary. But then there's those times you get to see some of those uplifting stories, the ones that make you smile, make you laugh, and make you glad that you were watching the news.
And a thing that I'm also really glad I'm watching the news is to see the weather, because that does not do anything.
And I know you and Mom like to look to see what everybody's wearing too.
Yes.
Certain things stand out, certain things you like.
Like Savannah's, like, sometime, or photos. Their, like, shirts and dresses are really nice.
Yeah, that was nice.
Like, bright.
But it's good, I think, to watch the news because you get to see so many different things that are happening around the world, and then you're now informed and you're educated, and you kind of understand a little bit more about what is happening around you or why certain things are happening.
We still have to say that.
You're gonna say Jinx?
Jinx.
Imagine saying Jinx on a podcast, and then now I can't talk until you say my name.
Jinx. Dada.
Thanks. But does that help with the stress of everything that is going on around us at the moment, that you know why certain things are happening, like why we have to, not just the basic stuff of coronavirus, but why we have to do this, why we have to do that, why school gets delayed, that type of thing?
Yeah. I do, like, understand. Like, now and I'm also learning things. Like, like, you probably didn't know all the stuff about, like, these big gatherings and stuff. Like, and, like, these things about colleges and stuff. So, that's why you watch the news.
It's true.
And, like, why school got delayed.
Yeah. All things you learn on the news.
Or you got told.
Alright, I love you.
I love you.
Oh.